Now, when I was a kid in the 70s, right, I lived in the Bronx, and I was young. I remember it was like maybe 4th, 5th grade, and we heard something about the zebra killers. Now, I was never quite sure what it is, and you really don't hear about it too much, but I know that's one of the subjects that you're pretty high up on. You have a lot of information on that.
Right.
Tell us what the
killers, they were a radical Muslim sect that believed that they had a kind of a point system, that if you killed a certain number of white people, you became elevated in their little sect. I don't know, you got a golden ring or something. I don't know what it was, but they had a name for it.
Well, what year was that?
You got more points if you killed a woman or a child than a white man. And they were the most cowardly murders of all time. It was in the 70s, right about 74, 75. Right. And police have no idea how many of these murders were committed. I mean, there were hundreds of attacks like this. And I have guys call me up and send me emails and say, hey, my brother was, murdered by the zebra killers, and they didn't put it on the list. So there's really no telling.
Was this just in San Francisco, or were they doing this all over the place?
No, they were going up and down the state. That's what the only ones got pointed were the ones in San Francisco. But they were happening all up and down the state.
And how did this come to light, that there was a group called the Zebra Killers that was doing this?
Well, they called them the Zebra Killers because that was the channel they used. They had to use a secret code because their intelligence was getting penetrated by the black Muslims. There were cops in the police force that were tipping off the black Muslims. And as all these crimes, this is what they all explode because one snitches. He can't live with himself. He's got pressure. The other cops lean on him about stuff. They just crack, right? And they give up the other ones. So they put the one guy up in a hotel, and the black Muslims went looking for him in that hotel. So they knew that there were dirty cops helping the black Muslims out, trying to get this guy whacked, the witness against the guy, the witness against the other 4 black Muslims. And you know what? There's other guys that were involved that were never charged. And all those guys are still in Quentin. A couple of them were pretty low intelligence. But, yeah, I mean, it was a panic. There was nobody walking the streets in San Francisco at night. Not like now. Everybody was petrified. There was almost a race war.
Really?
Blacks were getting pestered. They were getting pissed. They had a little name tag that they had to show. It was like Nazi Germany,
Wait, what do you mean? Regular people walking down the street, regular black guys walking down the street had to wear a name tag?
Yeah, they had to show them their card that they'd already been frisked and stuff. And the cops were stopping the Zodiac killers all the time too, and they wouldn't come off because they were clean-cut Muslim guys, And they knew they were working dudes because the crimes were committed after work and before 11. So they knew if it got past 11 at night, there wouldn't be any murders.
Get out of here.
No, it was really strange. It was really the strangest thing. And there's been some good books about it. The guy, I can't remember the guy's name who writes the definitive piece, but he's written other books about other crimes. But his crime about the zebra killers is the best. And former police chief writes a book about the zebra killers, and he gives the inside dope on the cop the black cop who was with the black, tipping off the black Muslims and stuff. And victims of the zebra killers still meet every year at City Hall to commemorate, the victims.
Because that's one of those big crimes. People know the name, but you really don't hear that much about it. It's covered up.
Oh yeah, it totally is. Black Muslims don't want to hear about it. Nobody wants to hear about that kind of thing.
Well, do you still have a lot of
racial thing?
Do you have a lot of black Muslims there still now?
No, see, that's the thing. That's the thing about San Francisco. It's been gentrified.
Right.
And they've moved all the black people out. They're trying to move all the black people out. When I first moved into San Francisco in 1976, it was 33% black. It might not even be 1% now. So if there are black Muslims in San Francisco, they're a disparate group.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Zebra Killers, now how many people do you think were in the organization?
There's just no telling. I mean, it could have been 100 guys. I mean, there could have been 100, 200 people, but the only guys they caught were like the 5 guys. They shot the one guy, Archie, what's his name, Archie Ship, or I don't know what his name is, but he caught him down in the Haight, the lower Haight. And he caught him with a gun. But he didn't give up any of the other ones. One of the other guys gave up all the other ones. He says he wasn't involved. The one who gives up all the other ones says he wasn't involved in any of the shootings, any of the killings, but that's dubious. You know, and a former mayor gets shot at, too.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Art Agnos is coming out of a community thing up in Potrero Hill, and they opened fire on him. And, you know, they were stupid. They knew the cops knew they weren't real criminals because they used the same gun all the time. They could always match the ammunition. They could always match up the weapon. Yeah, first thing you do when you commit a murder is get rid of the weapon. These guys used the same gun, kept using it over and over. And like I say, they were really cowardly attacks. An old woman doing her laundry in the laundromat, an old wino, just the list goes on and on. And one time they were in, where the blacks were in San Francisco was the Fillmore. Well, the Fillmore's all white now, all yuppies. It's totally gentrified. You know, you wouldn't see, you know, there used to be hookers down there and stuff, and shoe shine parlors and pool halls and barber shops. None of that's there anymore. It's all Starbucks.
Yeah, Banana Republic.
Yeah, right.
You know.
It's filmed and sanitized.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they killed this one girl. They murdered her. But her boyfriend's a big dope dealer. He's a big black dope dealer in San Francisco, and he puts a big bounty on these guys. Who's ever doing this? You know, a street thing, thinking it's a street thing, but no one claims the bounty because it's not a street thing. You know, I mean, just said, I'm going to give you a phenomenal amount of coke and money if you find out who killed my girlfriend. You know, nobody ever came up and, you know, said who did it. And then, black Muslims, they're not into that.
Well, yeah, right. That would make sense. Now, how did these murders, like, how did they end? Like, how come what made them stop?
Well, like I said, one of them snitched them all out.
Okay.
He snitched them all out.
But the cops only made 5 arrests and 5 convictions.
Yeah, they only have 5 convictions. Only 5 guys doing time for them.
Wow.
And they can pin like 13 to 14 on these guys specifically. But I'm telling you, there's no telling the depth or breadth of these murders. My buddy's dad was killed by a black guy who was a cab driver, stabbed him in the neck for no reason.
And the motivation it was a racial motivation, this black group, and they were only shooting whites.
Only whites. They were white devils.
Right.
White, blue-eyed devils, and they were killing them, and they had a point system. And you got more if you killed a white child or a white woman, because they determined it was tougher.
Fascinating, you know, because I remember hearing about it in the paper when I was a kid, but it never made like a big splash like Son of Sam or Charles Manson or any of those big things. It was just always kind of hushed away, you know, and I didn't know anything about this until I got a hold of you. Yeah.
Right. And the black Muslims paid for the defense.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Which group, do you know?
You know, Farrakhan.
Oh, Farrakhan's group, okay.
Oh, yeah. See, they wanted to turn San Francisco into a black enclave. But it's actually turned around and the exact opposites happened.
Yeah, right. Okay, that kind of backfired on them, yeah.
Right. But you've heard the conspiracy that the Klan and the black Muslims do hits together.
No, I have not heard that.
Yeah, the Klan and the black Muslims do hits together because they have the same goals. They both believe in total racial segregation.
Yeah, I have heard of that. They do agree on that. They do cooperate on that.
Yeah, and they'll reciprocate if they need to do a hit and stuff. I mean, that's just a rumor. I don't know. I don't have any evidence that that's true, but that's the conspiracy behind that. And all those guys that killed Malcolm X,
yeah,
they got all got out of jail, and the limo picked them up.
Okay, great. Okay, so now what else?